All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to explore a really fascinating story. It's about how one person took this ancient, kind of mystical tradition, the Kabbalah, and completely transformed it. Not into some stuffy academic textbook, but into a living, breathing, daily guide for life. And he did it all through a personal diary.
And get this, our guide for this journey is this fantastically grumpy dragon named Zoran, whose wisdom just pops up all over the place. This first quote from him, it just nails the whole point of the story. It's this clash, the tension between needing a rigid map for everything versus trusting that journey that's already inside of you.
So, where did this all kick off? Well, it all starts with a seeker, an author who hears these whispers of a profound teaching. But instead of just burying himself in dusty old books, he decides, nope, I'm going to find out what this means for me in my own experience. And listen, this wasn't some weekend hobby. We're talking about a 50-year commitment. The first little seed was planted way back 50 years ago just by hearing the word Kabbalah. That's it, just a word. But then you fast forward to 2001, he joins this mystery school, and bam, that's the year he starts the one thing that changes everything, his Diary of a Kabbalist. And this right here is the absolute key. You gotta understand, his goal wasn't to just memorize stuff to pass a test. He wasn't interested in just repeating empty words. He wanted to get it, to really understand it deep down. He wanted to feel it, to live it. So this diary, it wasn't just a record. It was alive. It was an active personal exploration. And the main tool for this whole journey is the tree of life. For a lot of people, it just looks like this complicated diagram, right? But Zoran, our dragon friend, he gives us the secret. He says, it's not a diagram, it's a mirror. Wow, think about that. It's not something you memorize. It's something you look into to see yourself, who you are, who you've been, and who you're on your way to becoming. Okay, so picture this. Our author has this incredibly deep, personal, living practice going. He's poured a whole year of his life, his soul, into this diary. And then the moment of truth arrives. A total clash of worlds with the official established system. And man, this is where it all comes to a head. On one hand, you've got the test. It's all in your head, super intellectual, abstract. They just want single-word answers. But on the other hand, you've got his diary. And that thing is all about lived experience, real emotional transformation, a full year of deep inner work. I mean, you couldn't get more opposite if you tried. This next part is just so telling. He walks up, so proud, and shows his diary, this incredible record of personal growth, to the guy in charge. And the guy just isn't interested at all. But check out the author's reaction. He's not mad. He's not bitter. He's just okay with it. A calm acceptance, like, all right, my path is my path, and that's cool. I mean, this really cuts to the core of the problem, doesn't it? You have to wonder what he was thinking. Like, how on earth are you supposed to boil down a whole year of life, changing inner work into a few multiple choice questions? The whole idea is just absurd. So what happened? Well, exactly what you'd think. He bombs the test. But, and this is the amazing part, the real outcome wasn't his score. It was how he felt about it. He was completely at peace. That so-called failure was actually this huge moment of liberation. It was proof that he was on the right track for him. So this wasn't the end of the story, not even close. In fact, you could say it was the real beginning. It cemented his commitment, not to some rigid system, but to his own living, breathing practice. That was his true path. And he really stuck with it. This wasn't some project he did for a year and then just dropped. No way. This diary became a daily thing, a continuous practice he's kept up for more than 10 years. Now that is some serious dedication. So you're probably wondering, what does this practice actually look like? Well, one of the biggest ideas he landed on was stillness. But hold on, it's not what you think. It's not about being totally quiet or doing nothing. It's about finding that calm center while everything around you is chaotic, and then learning to see all that chaos as an opportunity, as the raw ingredients for creating something new. And of course, Zoran just sums it up perfectly. He says, even the hurricane has its eye. I love that. Stillness isn't about avoiding the storm. It's about being that calm, powerful eye right in the center of it all. What a fantastic way to put it. Okay, so here's where the mystical gets super practical. All this inner work translated into this powerful, hands-on creative process. He called it the creative engine.
It's a simple 4-step system to take an idea from just a thought to something real. You start with the idea, you figure out how to apply it, you build the framework, the architecture, and then you just do it. You take action. So, did it work? Oh, you better believe it. The simple little process, born right out of his daily practice, became the engine for an unbelievable amount of creative work. We're talking 165 research books, hundreds of poems, hundreds of songs. This is the ultimate proof, right? His living practice wasn't just some feel-good idea, it was a seriously productive way to live. So, let's wrap this up. What's the big lesson here? What's the main takeaway from this whole journey? Well, for the final word, it's only right that we go back to our wise, grumpy guide, Zoran the Dragon. And here it is. This is the punchline to the whole story. Zoran says, "You were never meant to pass a test. You were meant to awaken a practice." Boom, that's everything right there. The whole point was never about getting a good grade from someone else. It was about waking up something deep inside himself. That so-called failure on the test, that was the real win. And through that practice, he discovered some really profound truths. Things like the only real path is the one you actually walk, the one you experience. You've got to travel light, drop the baggage that's just weighing you down. And that real unity isn't about everyone being the same. It's about all these different, unique voices coming together in harmony. And finally, true independence, that's just standing strong in what you know is true for you. And really, that's the beautiful conclusion to the whole story. In the end, this journey, it didn't just teach him a bunch of facts about the Kabbalah. The Kabbalah was just the tool. The real lesson was so much bigger. It taught him how to live. So I want to leave you with one last piece of wisdom from Zoran. The universe doesn't demand perfection. It only asks for your effort. Just try. That's a pretty powerful idea to sit with, isn't it? So as you think about your own life, your own journey, maybe just ask yourself, where can I begin?